Welcome back to Crazy Gamer Games, and we are now on our 20th video for building my Adeptus Mechanicus army. And in this video, I'm going to just be building some Skitarii Vanguards, doing some magnets on them, and things like that, while I give you a kind of an update on my Vigilus campaign. We played our first mission. We played it on a setting of Mega Borealis, and we played it kill team style. So it was my Adeptus Mechanicus against my son's Death Guard, and it was a riveting game. It was my son's first time playing kill team, so I had to talk him through the rules and stuff, but he picked up pretty quick. And he did end up beating me in round 1. But you see here, I clipped off that bump on the back of this backpack in preparation for the 3mm magnet. I have already magnetized the backpack here. I did that a little bit earlier. I didn't want this video to be too long. Hopefully I can show you how I pin the arms on the Skitarii so they don't get damaged taking the magnets on and off. So now what I'm going to do, let's zoom in just a little bit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take my center, this is a carbide point, and I'm going to mark the center of this Vanguard's back here. Just like so. Just make sure. And as you can see, I put a mark right there in the center. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drill that mark out with a 2mm drill bit first. And I switched the drill bits I use. I now use these bits from Union Tools. These are tungsten carbide jewelry drill bits. They're very, very cheap, but they're razor sharp and they cut through the plastic cleanly, and I like them better than the high-speed steel ones. I only have up to 2mm. I don't have any 3mm, so for that I will just be using a standard high-speed steel drill bit. So I'll just drill this in. We're going in. We want to go in 2mm because that's how deep the magnet is. Okay. Nice little hole there. Now I'll take my 3mm drill bit in my pin vise, clean it off, and I will drill, making sure I'm nice and level, and I will slowly just follow that hole. So in the kill team game, my son was running 9 Poxwalkers, and a Plague Champion and 3 Plague Marines. And I was running a Skitarii Ranger Gunner with a Transuranic Arquebus, and also a Vanguard gunner with a Transuranic Arquebus. I was running one of those was my sniper specialist, the Ranger was, and then I was running a combat specialist Ruststalker. Now, I don't know if you can see in that hole, but it's tapered and it's not quite deep enough for the magnet. So I'm going to take this flat-ended tool here, this end mill, and I'm going to take out the point part very gently, because this is razor sharp, and you can actually tear the hole apart by actually widening it. So I just take it really gently and until it's deep enough. And if you see there, I don't know how well it's going to pick up, but I took out the taper that the drill left in there. Now we will check to see if our magnet will fit, and it will. So we will put our magnet on the backpack of our master. So I've talked about it in previous videos. I had magnetized fully just an alpha, so I know, so all the magnets are the same, so I could in theory switch the weapons between any Skitarii, Vanguard, or Ranger. They're all done the same way. And I do also with Space Marines the same way also. So I'm going to use some of my magnet bearer glue. They're a fantastic company. Just going to place a little bit of glue in there. And then what I do is I take a cotton swab and I put a little zip kicker on it. And I take my pointy little stick, I slosh the glue around in the hole, and then I will slide the magnet and hold it in with my fingernail, and then I will make sure it is centered, and then I will just clean the area up with the zip kicker. Just take the Q-tip with the zip kicker on it, and swish it around, and that'll set up in about 45-50 seconds. So I'll let that sit there. We'll put that in there. And I have already done the gun. The gun has a 2mm by 1mm in it. And then his other arm has a 2mm by 1mm, and the pinning I was talking about is this hand right here is going to go onto there, and I put a pin there because if you just use plastic glue to glue that joint, when you take the arms on and off to change weapons or to paint them, this joint can get weak and break. So I use piano wire. I find that this works the best. I have 3 different sizes of piano wire, very small, and I just put a little piano wire pin in with super glue, and that seems to take care of it pretty well. While that's drying, I would like to show off one of my. I went ahead and made some objective markers. They're not completed yet, but they're built. This is the number 6. It has 6 of these lights. They all have a distinctive post on it, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put another coat of Agrat's Earthshade on the base, and then I'm going to use some of the Martian Iron Crust to cover up a majority of this base, and then give it a nice dry brush of Ryza Rust. So, you know, it'll be my nice Mars-themed objective markers. So I've made 6 of those. I'm working on them. I made them yesterday, and I was able to get some paint on them. Okay. This magnet seems to be set. So now I'm going to take this arm here, and I'm going to mark the center of it. Right. Like that. Center's been marked. And I will drill that out with my 2mm drill bit, because it is going to receive a 2mm by 2mm drill magnet. Take them off the stack. See, this is very small magnets. I talked about the magnets in a previous video, showing how I do it in action. So I'm just going to drill parallel to the body, and with these drill bits it's very easy, no pressure needed, just nice little drill. Alright, Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a 2mm end mill and just clean out that hole real quick. So as you can see, I created a pocket, and we'll go ahead and we'll test a magnet. And that's going to fit in there nice. Go just a smidge deeper with the end mill. Hit it with the dusty brush. And then I will take out the taser goad because that goes on that arm. And I will put a 2mm. If I can grab just one. And I'll put that on there. Then I'll add a little bit of glue to the hole. I will slosh it around with my stick. And I will insert the magnet. Then I will clean the area with the Q-tip that has the zip kicker on it. And I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to step away for a minute, and when I come back I will show you the rest of the process. Okay, I'm back, and that has had time to dry. It's been about 2 or 3 minutes, and that super glue is going to be nice and dried. So now I will mark the center on this side. Like so. And I will take my 2mm drill bit and I will drill it out. And I will drill it until it stops. And I will take my little end mill tool and I will clean up the hole. Sometimes with those really sharp tungsten drill bits, it gets caught and it wants to tear the plastic. But if that happens, you just clean it up with an end mill, and it'll be fine. The tungsten bits aren't for everybody. I like them because of the sharpness, and then I'll just round out that hole right there with the little countersink. And then we'll test the fit. And it is deep enough. So now I will take from my master magnetized, I will take out the arc pistol, which is going on his right arm. It's his right. And we will just check, and we're good. And then we'll add the super glue. Like so. Probably added a little too much, but I can pull some out with the stick. And then I wipe the stick off so the super doesn't stick to anything. So now I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to slide that in there. And now that's still sticking out a little bit. So I'm going to pick a piece of Teflon. And I'm going to center it up. And then I'm going to hit it with the Q-tip soaked in the zip kicker. I don't like using the zip kicker as an aerosol, as the spray. It gets everywhere. Plus, I have a small fan blowing on me, and it blows it right back in my face. So, just on the end of the Q-tip seems to work. Excuse me. Okay, so now that he's magnetized, we are going to look at his gun here. And we can put the master mold away. And we are going to get the smallest pinning wire I have. It's probably... Actually, I want to use the second smallest. This is 0.5 millimeters. It's a little under 0.5 millimeters. Excuse me, sorry. So I'm going to use a 0.6 millimeter jewelry drill bit. And I'm going to put that in my empty pin vise. And lock that down. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark a center hole on his hand. Just like that. And I am going to try to do this on camera where it can see me. And I'm going to go in at the angle that his hand's at. Very gently. I'm going to drill this out. It's very hard to see. Yeah, I want to go in. So, in the kill team, as I said previously, I got tabled in battle round 1. I had my infiltrator leader with a flechette blaster and a taser goad. And then I had a rust stalker with cord claw and transonic razors. I had the 2 snipers. And then I had 3 standard rangers with their galvanic rifles and 1 arc rifle. Well, I moved in the first turn and I failed my charge with my rust stalker, and I got countercharged and he died before I could even fight back. And it pretty much went all downhill from there. He killed my rust stalker, he killed my arc rifle, and then he put 2 flesh wounds on my leader. And then it was time for the morale phase, and I had a total of 9 units. 4 were out and 2 had flesh wounds, so I had to test if I was broken. And yes, I ended up being broken. And then I did the morale for each unit, leadership test for each unit, and every one of them failed, and every model became shaken. So at that point, I just forfeited the match. I don't think it was worth proceeding. So we're gonna play again today, and I made a few adjustments to my kill team. I added 2 plasma guys, because in the very first game I played just to learn how to play, I used the plasma guy, but he underperformed, so I didn't want to use a plasma guy again. So I swapped him for an arc rifle guy. But this time I have 2 plasma guys, a ranger gunner and a vanguard gunner to give me 2 plasma. And then I have the 2 sniper. So I'm hoping that will give me a little bit more firepower. And then I still have the Rust Stalker and the Infiltrator. So I think I'm right at 100 points. So it's not a lot of guys. So there we go. So they got the wire inside this side. I have a hole inside the gun. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of super glue to the end of this wire. Use a little faster setting super glue. That's the worst part about super glue, is the tip gets clogged up. So I just have to unclog that real quick. So we also have a 40K table set up. So we are going to be able to do some 40K missions also with his easy to build Death Guard and the AdMech that I have currently built. So I inserted that wire. Now I just want to clean up around the joint of the super glue, so it's just not all oozed out. Okay, so there's the joint with the wire. We'll let that sit, and we will check our magnets and see if they're going to move. They're not. So we can clip his gun on, and we'll put it in the position that it naturally fits in. He has little grooves on the bottom here that line up, and we can do that. So that's going to line up. The magnets are in. So let's see if this is dried. Yes, that is dried. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to clip this down to about where I need it. Stuff's very hard to cut for that thin piano wire. Piano wire is very resilient. So we will check that, and try to line that up. Just need to take a little bit more off of the wire. Okay, so now let's try it now. And as you can see, it's pinned there. So now I will put the rifle on him, and I will do a dry fit. Of his arm. And see if I can get it on there. Might have to bend that pin just a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to have to bend that pin a little bit. There we go. Let's try that. Okay, let us try to put this on the Vanguard. Alright, as you can see, he is pinned and he is ready to go. So now I just need to put a little glue on that joint. And then just realign him up. That's way too much glue. Alright. A little bit of glue. Stick the pin in. Realign him. And there we go. Now he is pinned, and now we can take the gun, once he's dried, we can take the gun on and off multiple times, and that joint won't get weak. And when I paint it, I will just add just a little dab of liquid green stuff in that crack, so that you won't even see the joint. Just a little liquid green stuff takes nothing but a second to do. Or I sometimes I use the Vallejo plastic putty, that works also. And you can't even tell the joint's there. That makes it a little bit easier. So, let's see. I did not cut a head out for him. So let's see if we can find him a Vanguard head in the bits box. There's one. And let's just clean this up here. And we will just put a little bit of glue in this area right here. There. We will. Let's see. I think that way looks good. Kind of looking that way, marching along, doing a nice little march. So there it is. That is how I magnetize my Skitarii, and his backpack's magnetized, popped right on there, and that's basically it. And then when it comes time to paint, I'll just pull his gun off, and then we can put it right back on. But I did it a little too soon because that glue had not dried yet. So we will give that super glue plenty of time to dry before we take it off again. Well, thank you for watching. If you liked what you see, like the video. If you didn't like it, dislike it. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see more of my progress building this Adeptus Mechanicus army. For Crazy Gamers Games, I'm the Crazy Gamer. Have a great day.